Hello, everyone. Welcome. This is Living to Learn. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Appreciate everybody's support. I've gotten a lot of it since I started this channel. And so I just want to give a big thank you to everyone who has contributed in any way, whether donations financially, whether sharing, subscribing, commenting, liking my videos, listening to, my content. That really means a lot and very important, for me. Just something to let me know that I should keep going, that there are people that are taking advantage of this content that I'm sharing, which is what it's for, right? I mean, I'm not making this just for myself. I'm trying to, I'm trying to help others in the process. And anyway, just thank you. So we have another video today. I'm going to be talking about something specific, but I did want to just kind of share something that happened to me earlier today. So this morning, got up in the morning, thankfully I was able to sleep in pretty good, had a pretty good night's sleep. I'm in Southern California. It's been very hot over here. We've been going through a really intense heat wave. And so, it's been tough, especially if you have to be outside. So, shout out to all the people that have to be outside. I feel for you. But this morning I got up and it was already warm, 10 a.m. It was already almost 100 degrees and I didn't have any coffee. And I don't know if you're like me, you're a coffee drinker. You already know that's like part one of the routine, right? We need that. We need to get that coffee going in the morning, just kind of jumpstart our creativity, get the juices flowing, however you want to call it. And so I am somebody who enjoys a good cup of coffee in the morning. And didn't have any, forgot to get some last night when it was cooler and would have made a lot more sense, right? But, so goes, so that's life, right? Sometimes we don't do it the right way. So anyway, I got to pay the price now. I got to drive to the store. It's already hot. And, you've probably noticed me wiping my face a few times, done these videos, even though I'm in a nice, temperature controlled room. I just tend to heat up fast. I'm just one of those people that gets hot immediately. So, not my favorite type of weather. But anyway, I went to the store, went to grab my coffee, and, thankfully I only needed one thing. And so I go straight to, it's a local store. So I go straight to the aisle where the coffee's at, I grab my coffee, and I see a register, with one person in front of me. I go up to the register with my coffee, and the clerk's there. And another thing I want to mention, and I'm assuming most of my listeners and watchers are in the U.S., but if you're not, in the U.S. it's September 5th. Today is Labor Day. This is a national holiday, and most people have the day off. However, there are some of those people that have very important services that need to stay open, supermarkets, delivery drivers, first responders, and so on and so forth, who do have to work on Labor Day while everyone else has the day off. So, my respects to those of you that had to work today. And, for those of us that got to enjoy the day off, I hope we will at least tip our hat or appreciate, give a little extra tip, give a thank you, say something, because it's tough, but some people had to work, and I was grateful. I was actually grateful that the store was open, because I wouldn't have been able to get my coffee, and maybe I should go a day or two without it, but I wasn't trying to learn that lesson today. I wanted my coffee, and so I went. I'm in line. I go. It was my turn to check out my coffee, and so just me being me, trying to be polite, trying to be nice. I said hi to the clerk, and I don't know if she didn't hear me, but she just pretty much completely ignored me, right? She just blew me off, like just didn't regard what I said at all. And, these are the moments, right, where we really find out, like, what we find out what's in us, right? Like, I don't know who said it, but someone said, if, when someone bumps into you, right, or you bump into somebody, or something just startles you, right, something abruptly stops you in your tracks, that shows you find out what's in you. You find out what's going to come out. And I'll be honest with you. Typically, when someone does that to me, I take it as, my initial reaction is to take offense. My initial response is to take that kind of as disrespect, a little bit of embarrassment, right? Because you're saying hi and getting ignored. That's not a good feeling. Nobody likes to be ignored. And so, I've got seconds to decide, and all this is running through my mind, right? I got seconds to decide, like, how am I going to respond? And, initially you kind of want to give back what's been given to you, right? That's just kind of how we are as people. You're going to disrespect me, I'm going to disrespect you, right? That's just kind of like, that's a typical human response. And for someone like myself, I definitely understand that, and I have definitely reacted in that way before. But I'm at a point in my life where I want to be able to expect more from myself, and I want to be able to be that bigger person. I have to be that bigger person. And so I started thinking, maybe she's just not in a good mood. After all, it is Labor Day. Everyone else has the day off, and here she is working. Who knows? Right? Who knows what's going on? And that those type of thoughts, when my mind started going there, it kind of, I would call it like the irritability, right? Me being irritated, feeling irritable about how she responded to me just trying to be polite, kind of subsided. And, you begin to see this person as a person, like, you don't know what they're going through. Maybe she didn't hear me. Maybe she had a rough night. Maybe she had a rough morning. I don't know. Maybe this is a rough time. Maybe September's a tough time. Maybe someone very close to her, passed away around this time, and feelings come up around this time. And maybe this person never learned how to grieve. And I mean, I didn't think of all this in 5 seconds. I'm saying, like, this is like what, where my mind goes, just thinking about these types of things. Because that's something I can definitely relate to. Sometimes we're in a season where it's just not comfortable. We're just not in a good mood. We might not be in a good place. And, something that I heard a long time ago that I think is very important, something that we need to pay attention to, is we judge others based on their actions. We judge ourselves based on our intentions. I'll say that again. We judge others based on their actions. We judge ourselves based on our intentions. And really what that does is just puts us in the same predicament where it's like, listen, you're human, I'm human, things are going to happen. And sometimes we're just not in a good mood. We're just not in a good place. And anyway, long story short, I got my coffee. I said, have a great day. She was like, you too, and kept it moving. And I was proud of myself for not just reacting. Not to say that I won't the next time. And not to say that I haven't done that before, because I have, but really I'm working on practicing what I preach. I'm working on practicing the things I talk about in this video. And, again, things aren't black and white. It's not always the same for everyone. And what I want to talk about today, kind of carried over from my video from last week, talking about change, right? How do we approach change? And how do you even know that you want to change, right? And I want to talk about something called the change cycle. Now, again, this is information coming out of Act Now, which is the book co-authored by my business coach, Regeanie, along with Dr. Natalie Phillips. And in their book, they talk about something called the change cycle. And there's 6 phases to the change cycle. And what we're going to talk about today is that first phase, and that is discontentment. And that's where you identify something in your life that needs to change. Now, if you want to know what discontentment means, you're welcome to Google it, look it up in the dictionary. I'm going to say it like this. It's the opposite of contentment, right? There's contentment and then there's discontentment. Contentment meaning, hey, I'm good. Like, I'm good where I'm at. I'm content. I am at peace. There really isn't anything that I desire to change right now. Again, that might be different a year from now. That might be different a couple of days from now, but you're content. Discontentment means you're not. Right? There's something that needs to change, right? You want a better result. You want a better outcome. And the only way you know that's going to happen is by changing, right? And there are so many people who are discontent. There are so many people who are dealing with discontentment. And it can be for various reasons. And there are various levels of discontentment as well. And something I want to reiterate again, and I know you've probably heard me say this before. Maybe you're shaking your head like, oh, here comes Josh reiterating things, right? Like, but I really want to ingrain this in my listeners and the people that are viewing my channel, that this is by no means, everything I'm sharing is by no means a one size fits all solution for everyone's issues, for everyone's problems, for everyone's, unique situations. I'm just sharing what I see the world. Again, one of my favorite books, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. One of my favorite quotes is this: we do not see the world as it is. We see the world as we are. Okay? We do not see the world as it is. We see the world as we are. Right? So I see the world as I am. And as much as I care, as much as I mean it, that's a very small scope. And I am always working on expanding my perspective. Always, I don't want to say always, but I would like to be working and sharpening my perspective at all times, expanding that. But even then, I'm not going to see it all, right? So feel free to take from this channel what works for you, and feel free to disregard what doesn't. Because I understand there's a different size scope, and just, undertaking to everybody's situation. So your discontentment might be in multiple areas, where mine might be in just one, right? But really, discontentment is just getting to that point where you're like, listen, something's got to change. I mean, I'm not happy with this. And it could be a number of different things, right? It could be your health. It could be relationships. I mean, the list goes on, right? And as a human being, I'm sure you can think of some things that either you're not content with at the moment, either you are, you have that in a place of discontentment at the moment, or you have had that before, where you're saying that something had to change, right? And so you realize that you're discontent, but sometimes, and maybe I'm alone in this, we just keep kind of, we kind of tolerate it. We kind of just put up with it. Like, yeah, I really don't like how things are. I really don't like my current situation, but it's what I know. It's what I'm used to. See, change, we've talked about this before, it can be very intimidating. It can be terrifying, to the point where we are willing to put up with something that we know we don't like, that we know we're not 100% satisfied with, that we know we're not content with. Because even though we're dealing with discontentment, even though we are discontent, we're familiar with what that is. We're comfortable with what that is. And that really is a mysterious thing about us humans, right? Like, what sense does that make? Because it doesn't. But you know what? Most of us will make sense of it, because we're human. That's just the way we work. That's the way we're wired. Remember, we have it. Change requires us to shut those voices up that are saying, hey, just go back to what you know, right? Those voices that tell me, hey, Josh, you've been lifting, man. You've been consistent. You're not really noticing much of a change, though, when you look in the mirror. You gave it a good shot, man. Why don't you just, why don't we get back to what we're used to? And it's funny, because it's almost like you have another person inside you. Your mind is trying to protect you, because it thinks that you changing is putting yourself in danger. This is psychological. This is nature. So listen, if you're one of those people, and I'll tell you what, there are areas in my life where I'm one of those people as well, where I am aware of my discontentment with a certain situation, a certain habit, or certain thing that I do or don't do, and yet I'm comfortable and I'm okay staying there. Give yourself some grace. Understand, we're human. That's just how it is. We might just say, hey, this has to change. This should be different. I'm not going to benefit from this the way it is, and I'm not content with it, but I'm willing to put up with it because A, B, or C, right? We have our reasons. We have our reasons. And that's another thing this channel is not. This channel is not a place where I'm going to beat people up or, I'm not going to beat myself up. We're human beings. We're not, there's always going to be something. What I'm hoping to do in this channel is share something that might spark a thought or an idea, or motivate somebody to just say, you know what, I'm gonna give this another go. I'm gonna give this another shot. So because here's the thing, even though we want to make a change, sometimes there's not enough motivation yet. The motivation hasn't come. Now, on the flip side of that, I think it's a good thing that we do realize where and when we are discontent. I think it's a good thing. Again, even if we haven't found the motivation yet to actually start to change, discontentment is that first step in the change cycle, right? That's realizing, that's coming to a realization that, you know what, there is something that needs to change. And I'm not happy with the way things are. With this or that. It could be a number of things. And again, it could be a wide range of things. And, it could go from something personal to something, that's, bigger than you. Maybe includes someone else. It might be a relationship. I can't call it. You and I know what those areas are. We know what those things are. Well, we're just not happy, and we know things need to be better. And we know that the only way they will get better is if we change, but we don't have the motivation yet to execute that change. And here's what I'm saying. If we have at least gotten to the point where we recognize and we realize our discontentment, let's pause there. And let's focus on that. Because I guarantee you, if you keep that in the front of your mind, right? If we keep that forefront in the forefront of our minds, if we never go a day without thinking about it, the motivation's going to come. Because again, eventually we're going to get to the second phase of the change cycle, which is the breaking point. And we're going to talk about the breaking point in the next video. But don't lose sight of your discontentment, because you can do something about it. You and I can do something about it. That's a fact. Whether or not we will, time will tell. But the fact of the matter is, we can do something about this. And again, when I say we can do something about this, you can interpret that a number of different ways. Again, I'm not going to pretend to know everyone's situation. I'm not going to pretend to know. This can get deep. It can get complicated, right? It gets complicated. Just like my self-reflection this morning at the register, it's complicated. Why do I still take offense to that? Why haven't I arrived yet to be that person that's just, at peace and just walking on that solid foundation? I'm so confident, I'm so content that nothing you can tell me is going to knock me off that space. Nothing that you can do to me is going to disrupt my peace. It's not going to disrupt me. I have my sights set on things that are higher than this. And not that doesn't mean I'm better than you or I'm above you. It just means this isn't what I'm going to get stuck on. But yet here I still find myself fighting that battle. I'm glad I came out with a better result today, but who knows tomorrow? And this is just the continuous work that we have to do. There is always going to be work to be done. This is why we can't be too hard on ourselves. And again, this is a complicated thing. And it takes some time. It takes some contemplation. It takes some self-reflection. If those are things that we're not used to, if those are things that are foreign to us, we were never introduced to those things, then yes, it's going to be tough. But we can do something about it. So what is that discontentment? Well, it's when I realize, and I come to grips, and I'm honest to say, I don't like how this is. Right? And again, that could be anything. It could be your health. It could be your marriage. It could be anything. I don't like how things are going. The only way that they're going to be better, the only way I'm going to be content with this situation, the only way I'm going to achieve contentment, the opposite of discontentment, is if things change. Right? But we find ourselves comfortable. Some of these things are just disrupting that comfort is just too overwhelming at the time. But guess what? That's okay. Stay with it. Stay thinking about it. Keep your focus on that. Not all the time. It doesn't have to, rule your life. But, even if you write something down, like literally write it down on one of those sticky notes and put it on your mirror. Not happy with this. Not happy with my career. Right? Not happy with my current, place of employment. Because what that's going to do is it's going to get the wheels turning and get us to that breaking point. And once you get to the breaking point is when you want to take action. Again, we're going to touch on the breaking point in the next video. Action, right, requires a plan. And so once you start putting that plan together, you start getting moving, right? But in the meantime, till we get that motivation, let's just revisit whatever it is that that is that source of discontentment. It can be a number of things. And you don't have to tackle them all at once. Maybe just one at a time. But what I'm saying is don't give up and don't, quit on yourself. We can't quit on ourselves just because we haven't found the motivation to actually make that change and move forward. So when what is discontentment? It's that place, whatever it is, that thing in our life that we're not completely satisfied with and that we know needs to change. What should we do? Right? What should we do if we're still comfortable? We're still kind of, I'm just kind of used to that. Well, don't forget about it. Don't forget that that's a source of discontentment. Focus on, hey, you know what? I'm not happy with this and I can do something about it. I'm not happy with this and I can do something about it. And the motivation will come. It'll find itself to you because you're going to just keep thinking like, man, I don't like this. I need to change. I don't like this. I need to change. Then you hit that breaking point, right? Again, we're going to talk about this more in the next video. So anyway, this is what I wanted to bring to you today. And I hope everybody's having a great, holiday weekend with family, with loved ones. For those of you that are out there working, I salute you. I remember those days. And, it's tough when everybody else has the day off. But much love to you. And for those of you that went to work with a smile on your face and just said, hey, this is what I got to do, much respect to you. I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to get to the point where no matter what's going on, I'm not projecting that on the world. I'm not making everybody else pay for what I'm not happy with. Right. And to that clerk, the person that checked out my coffee this morning, hey, I hope she's, I hope something good happens today. Just to kind of brighten up her day, if that's what it was. You never know. But we got to look out for each other as much as we can. We can't all do that. We can't all look out for everybody. But everyone's going through something. Everyone has something they're not happy with. Everyone has something they wish they could change. Okay, so we're not alone in that. Others aren't either. That's going to help us. That's going to help our perspective on other people, just the people that we come across in our lives. You begin to see people as human, and you begin to understand that they're just like you. They're just like me. We have good days, bad days, going through things. We're not projecting what we're going through, but you just never know. And sometimes a kind word, a smile, a hi, a thank you can really make somebody's day. And anyway, hope this was helpful. And I look forward to the next video. Again, thank you so much, all of you, for your support. Feel free to donate if that's something that you want to do. It helps me continue to make my content. Liking, sharing, subscribing to my channel is very helpful as well. And everyone, have a great rest of your week.